Tonight on The Pulse, we have football stories coming from all three levels: high school, college, and the NFL. So what is going on?
And the Little Hawkeye Cross Country Conference meet was held in Oskaloosa earlier this week. Who ran away with the championships? You'll find out next on OSP.
Welcome to another edition of Oskaloosa Sports Pulse. I'm Jason Van Zetten.
And I'm Jason Madison.
The football season is starting to wind down for Oskaloosa, and the Indians were out to salvage what is left of their season when Winterset came to town for homecoming.
With the stage set at Lacey Stadium Friday, a young 1-5 Oski team went to war with the visitors, who only lost one game this season. So who prevailed? In a lopsided game on paper, it looked like the Indians were crushed, but some mental breakdowns in the last 5 minutes led to two late Winterset touchdowns. OHS head football coach Mark Schilp added the wishbone formation this week to give his team a different look on offense.
It's something that I've ran quite a bit in the past. I feel like we've got a lot of good backs in our program, and it's something that I wanted to stick in and start going to. Just trying to feature, our best players and get them out there and play. You saw Zach Patier, Mason Wissey, Nate Van Veldhuizen, Jared Pace rotation, and we got a lot of younger kids that are going to be in that rotation in the future. We need some option game and some counter stuff with that to make a full package.
The following day, more gridiron action went down at Lacey when St. Francis, the NAI's nationally ranked number 15 team, rolled in Oskaloosa. The visitors were taking on number 5 William Penn in the NAI's game of the week. So with attention focused on our town of nearly 12,000, will the game live up to the hype? In a game of offensive struggles, Penn only managed one touchdown and a total of 186 yards, all on the ground. The defense, on the other hand, was relentless. For the second time this season, the Statesman D found the end zone twice in one game Saturday. The defensive unit only surrendered 296 yards to the visiting high-powered offense led by E.J. White. Before the game, the Fighting Saints quarterback averaged 339 yards per game, while the rest of the team usually racked up more than 430 yards per game. Nonetheless, the Statesman put the cuffs on White as he finished with 178 yards on 24 of 42 passing and finished with -3 yards on 8 attempts. 4 different Penn players, Jacob Batterson, Perry King, Nick DeMarco, and Brock Perry, all finished with a team-high 8 tackles. 6 passes were broke up by Statesman defenders, with 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles going the home team's way.
Besides us, and I mean J-Mad and myself giving props to WPU's defense, their efforts also caught the eye of Beyond Sports Network. The squad was honored for holding the St. Francis quarterback E.J. White to under 200 yards, forcing 4 turnovers and scoring twice. This is the second time this season that BSN has recognized Penn's defense. The first came in September against Bethel, Kansas. William Penn is now just one of 7 teams that are still undefeated heading into this weekend. As we look into the NAIA's top 25 poll, the Navy and Gold retain the number 5 spot in the nation. The rest of the top 5 have remained unchanged, in Marion and Indiana resting in the top spot. The Statesmen are still the highest ranked team from the Midwest League, while Grandview, St. Ambrose, and St. Francis, Illinois coming in at 14, 15, and 20. William Penn travels to Leavenworth, Kansas on Saturday for a non-conference game against St. Mary at 1:30 p.m. We'll have those results for you next week. Also on Saturday, the 15th ranked Oskaloosa volleyball team hosted its own tournament and finished 3rd. OHS went 3-0 in pool play before falling to Marshalltown in tournament play. The Indians then turned around and had to defend its undefeated conference record against Newton. The Cardinals were able to upset the Indians in a 5th set. Kate Hasselman led the way with 22 kills, followed by Allie Christensen and her 40 assists. Christensen also led the service line, going for 19 of 19 with 3 aces. Defensively, Kenna Veldhuizen led the way with 33 digs, and the rest of the team had 14 blocks. This weekend, the ladies head off to the Johnson Tournament on Saturday. When we come back, the Oskaloosa cross-country teams held the Little Hawkeye Conference meet, but how did they stack up against the competition?
You should see my bank. It can do awesome things. Mom says it's just like the 4 seasons. Always there. helping communities grow and be a better place to live and work. All because my bank lives here too.
Live Iowa, work Iowa, bank Iowa. Member FDIC.
Bates Funeral Chapel, where community is more than just a location. Where compassion is more than just a feeling. Where history is more than just a time. Bates Funeral Chapel, where service is more than just a word.
The doctor is in and no appointments are needed. Come to Dr. Salami's today and let the doc heal your hunger. Come to Dr. Salami's for friendly staff, casual atmosphere, and good friends. When you get here, you'll be treated to affordable prices, hearty portions, and good food. So come on down to Dr. Salami's today, your place for good friends, good food, good times.
Welcome back. Saturday, the Lady Statesman volleyball team went 1-1 in the Waldorf Triangular Volleyball matchup. Penn opened the day 3-1 win over Oklahoma Wesleyan, but then ended 3-1 loss to host Waldorf. With the win over OWU, the team reached 20 wins for the 15th time in school history and the 5th time in at least the last 6 years. WPU then returned to Oskaloosa to hosting number 12 Grandview in MCC action. Penn pushed the number 12 to 5 sets, but couldn't pull off the miracle, falling 3-2.
In Eastern Iowa Saturday, Penn's cross-country teams recorded their best results of the year at the St. Ambrose Fighting Bees Classic. On the men's side, William Penn placed 4th out of 9 teams with 127 points, while Lincoln, Illinois took 1st with 41. WPU freshman Yanni Gallagher led the Navy in gold, placing 10th out of 75 runners with a time of 26 minutes and 44 seconds. His time was the 6th highest of all league runners. On the women's side, WPU placed 9th out of 10 teams with 228 points, while Augustana, Illinois won the team title with 31 points. Graduate student Valen McReynolds placed 15th out of 108 runners with a personal best time of 19 minutes and 55 seconds. Her time is the 4th best in school history. William Penn takes a week off before traveling to St. Louis, Missouri for the St. Louis Pharmacy Classic.
Monday at Edmondson Park, Oskaloosa hosted this year's Little Hawkeye Cross Country Conference meet. With the 17s lining up to run their race, which squad would walk away as the top dog? OSP's Jason Madison was there on the course and has the results from this year's championship.
With the varsity girls lining up to begin the 4K course, we focus in on Oskaloosa freshman Bailey Blythe. The local standout has led OHS in all meets this fall, but fellow freshman Grace Cohen from Newton, seen here warming up, has had a leg up on Blythe this season. Before Monday, Cohen finished first in 7 of 8 races. Would this be the Cardinals' 8th victory, or would Blythe pull off the upset?
Go girls!
As the smoke cleared, Blythe started out fast, but Cohen pushed herself to the front of the pack. Only minutes into the race, Cohen was battling for first with Pella, while Blythe paced herself in 5th.
You gotta go. You gotta get up with them right now.
Halfway through the race, Cohen started to separate herself from the herd, while Blythe was duking it out to stay in the top 5. For a moment, the Oski freshman fell to 8th, but the race wasn't over. At the halfway point, Blythe picked it up and pulled herself into 4th. At the end of the race, Cohen came down the home stretch to finish first in 15 minutes and 18 seconds, 40 seconds ahead of second place Pella. Blythe then clocked in at 16 minutes and 18 seconds to finish 3rd with runners on her heels. After the race, Blythe was pleased with her finish, especially with districts ahead.
Yeah, I was hoping to get in the top 3, and I was with the pack for most of the race, and I kind of broke off at the end, so I was really happy with my placing.
As a team, the Indians finished 4th with 95 points, as Pella had the best team score with 33 points. Switching over, early on in the boys' race, sophomores Skylar DeYoung and Spencer DeYoung paced Oski in 2nd and 3rd during the 5K course. However, halfway through the race, the brothers separated, with Skylar dropping to 3rd behind Knoxville and Pella. Spencer was still in the hunt, fighting to stay in the top 10. With supporters making their way to the finish line, it was Knoxville taking home the individual championship. Skylar wasn't far behind, placing third in 16 minutes and 43 seconds, while Spencer finished ninth in 17 minutes and 13 seconds.
I was really impressed with him. He stuck with me for that first lap, and I thought he would catch me eventually. And then our whole team did really good. I'm really impressed with it. The guys did a great job. We've been working hard, getting ready for these meets.
With districts coming up Thursday, October 18th in Pella, Skylar is right where he needs to be to qualify for state and possibly knock off one of the two seniors seated ahead of him. As a whole, the boys finished the conference meet 5th with 120 points, while the Grinnell Tigers claimed this year's championship with a low score of 40.
And when we return, a former local football player has ESPN commentators John Gruden and Mike Turizo calling out the right name and the right school, but in the wrong city.
Number 71, Damon Harrison, out of William Penn College in Des Moines, Iowa, in there on that Jets defensive line.
They made a rookie mistake. We'll tell you how to fix that right here next on OSP.
If you buy the renegade idea that investing should be discussed face to face, not just inbox to inbox.
If you believe that your relationship with your investments shouldn't be long distance,
join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and ThinkTime make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Visit one of your friendly Oskaloosa reps today.
Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen.
I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. The biggest stars, the classic hits, KIIC. Go Hawks, go Cyclones!
Go to Mahaska in Oskaloosa for all things black and gold and cardinal and gold. It's one of the largest collections of sports gear for both teams anywhere in the state. Mahaska Drug has it all, including the Tyler Sash Foundation collection of Get Better Not Bitter shirts and wristbands. So who's your favorite team?
Hawkeyes! Cyclones! Hawkeyes! Cyclones!
Let everyone know with Hawkeye and Cyclone merchandise from Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa. It's big, really big.
In Joliet, Illinois, Friday and Saturday, temperatures were a bit brisk, only reaching the 50s, but William Penn didn't have a problem staying hot, placing second out of 5 teams at the St. Francis Fall Conference. WPU had a 2-day tally of 679 at the Par 70 Inwood Golf Course in Olivet Nazarene, Illinois, but barely won the team crown at 668. The silver is the program's 4th of the fall, including losing a tiebreaker at Grinnell last week. Sophomore Maggie Yang tied for second out of 32 competitors, finishing with a 165. Freshman Demi Quartza finished in the top 10 as well, tying 6th with her 167. William Penn takes a week off before closing out its fall season on October 19th and 20th, hosting the Lady Statesman Fall Classic in Oskaloosa. Play will be held at Edmondson Golf Course.
Moving on to the pros, former William Penn defensive lineman Damon Harrison has been waiting for his chance to prove himself during his rookie season with the New York Jets. This week on Monday Night Football, his number was called twice. Once to step out on the field as an honorary captain for the coin toss, and then when it counted. Head Jets coach Rex Ryan sent the Louisiana native in after starting nose tackle Kendrick Evans left with a leg injury. With a little under 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Jets are down by 6 against Houston. On a 3rd and short with Texans starting running back Arian Foster getting the ball, big number 71 had to make one of the biggest stops to jumpstart his young career. Let's take a listen.
Watch Pace, watch Wilkerson. They win with their pad level.
Well, 71 got over there, and they couldn't push past that big guy, 350 pounds.
Damon Harrison, a rookie from William Penn, Mike.
However, the Jets offense would later turn the ball over on an interception, and the Texans would roll on to the win. Tuesday, I spoke with Harrison over the phone about his play and what is ahead for the 23-year-old.
It was exciting, just hearing from the guys on the sideline, everybody giving me high fives, the players, the coaches, some of the guys on the staff, the doctors who was all on the sideline, telling me good job. My nickname is Snacks around here, so they were like, good job, Snacks, way to step up, Snacks. And I mean, that was just a proud moment, you know, that my first play in the NFL, I got to stop.
Harrison went on to say he doesn't want to count all of his eggs before they're hatched, but he most likely will get the starting spot when the Jets host the Colts this Sunday at noon. The game can be seen on CBS. I'm Jason Madison.
This week on our new segment, 45 Flat, it gives us a chance to talk about a player or an event or anything else impacting the world of sports. So if you saw the Indianapolis Colts take down Green Bay 30-27 on Sunday, you saw the hit on Andrew Luck by first-round rookie linebacker Nick Perry, a hit that forced a fumble that Green Bay recovered, and had they gotten the ball, instead of drawing a 15-yard unnecessary roughness penalty, your guess is as good as mine on the outcome of that game. But the real bottom line here is nobody in the NFL knows how to hit a quarterback legally. Now, here's where I have a particular problem. When we talk about a great, possibly game-changing play by Nick Perry's tub thumping that knocked Luck into the upper deck becomes a penalty against Green Bay, keeping the Colts alive, that is a problem for the game. Now, from what I saw under the NFL's guidelines of helmet-to-helmet contact, Perry had his face mask laid clearly into Luck's chest. I thought it was a clean hit. The problem is when you saw it in real time, it looked like a violent hit, thus drawing the penalty. So now what do we have? We have subjective calls going on big hits in the NFL that are unreviewable. Now, whether you like it or not, big hits are a part of football, and at the very least should be reviewable if they draw a penalty. Now, only the Swami himself would have known the outcome of the Green Bay game if they had retained the ball. But it's not just an offensive problem. Linebacker Brian Cushings of the Texans unfortunately found out he may be heading into ACL surgery from a questionable cut block. When it comes to the offensive lines, the NFL has been hands-off, letting those guys essentially waylay into defenses. And you don't just have to take my word for it. Brian Cushings and Clay Matthews were teammates at USC, and here's what Matthews' tweets had to say. Where's the NFL's protection on blocks below the waist like that of Cushings? Double standard. And as Matthews continues, if the NFL really wants to increase player safety, start protecting players on both sides of the ball. It's pretty tough to argue with player safety when the NFL's toughest linebackers like Nick Perry, Brian Cushings, and Clay Matthews are all looking for reformed rules. Hey, we just don't want anybody to get hurt here.
That's it for this week's show. Be sure to catch replays of OSP Fridays at 10 p.m., Saturdays at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., and 10 p.m., as well as Sundays at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 10 p.m. here on MCG Channel 7. And make sure you watch us and the rest of CRI's programming online at critv.org.
I got to give a shout out to John Gruden here. You got to stop spending time with Andrew Luck on 3Y Banana. Start looking at Damon Harrison, our man, Snacks.
I mean, Snacks, we're talking about Harrison. This is the name that the New York Jets have dubbed him. I mean, if you look at the man, he's just as big or even bigger than some of the vets that have been playing in the league. So right now, I think the 23-year-old has a bright future, and quite possibly he might end up starting this upcoming weekend. I know we talked about that earlier. So, you know, everything goes out to Harrison, and we can't forget about T-Sash out there. He's back playing. So all our local boys, hopefully they do well this upcoming weekend.
And they're not the only ones on the football field with talent. There's other people here from Oskaloosa. My man Jay Mad, I'm Jason Van Zent. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of OSP.